So today's video is massive in terms of the update news. We have got a lot of stuff to go through. We have the update notes, we've got all of the bundles to have a look at, we've got earn challenges to be able to get yourself some free stuff. We've also got a lot of new kind of content coming into the game, the new season, challenges, discounts, and a whole lot more other things that we will look through, and we'll begin right now. So, of course, we have the World of Tanks Modern Armour G.I. Joe season, which is going to last just under 2 months once again, so it's quite a long season. So we've got from the 29th of June until the 24th of August, which probably is somewhere in the region of 8 weeks. So 8 weeks to complete the season, to get up to level rank 100, and you should be able to get some really nice rewards when grinding towards that. Obviously, the cost of the season pass for just the base one is 2,000 gold, as with our usual. I mean, whether or not you want to spend some money or spend some gold, if you've got some saved up, because that's what I tend to do, I'll make sure that every season, from the gold I've earned from the previous one, I will save it up so I can pay for the next one without actually having to pay any real money. So they basically pay for themselves in terms of the gold that you receive from the previous season. So, what does this new season kind of have to offer? Well, of course, it's G.I. Joe season, and you can get some premium tanks. You've also got the ability to get some commanders, keycards, gold, and more. And we will have a look at all of the kind of season pass stuff in just a second right here. Now, season pass. Would I recommend purchasing the season pass? Well, of course I would. I think it's one of the most kind of bang for your buck. If you're going to spend any money on the game, then purchasing the season pass for 2,000 gold is probably the best thing that you could do on the game, to be honest with you. Now, in terms of what this actually is, well, what rewards will you get for having the season pass? Well, if you don't want to spend any money at all, you can pick up a Cobra Commander 2D Premium Commander for free at level 48. At level 75, you get a Cobra BOA Hero Skin for the T-54 First Prototype, the World War II tank at tier 8. And then at level 100, you actually get the T-54 First Prototype Medium Tank, which is this tier 8 medium Russian tank that is okay. It's not particularly amazing. I think it is the Motherland unskinned, if that makes sense. So if you've got the Motherland yourself, you know exactly what this tank is like and how it plays. But if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a standard T-44, but with a T-54 kind of hull. It's slightly better, I would say, than the T-44. I'm not really sure. But yeah, a decent tank and nonetheless, and I'm sure that we'll review it at some point later on down the line during this season. Now, for the rest of you who decide to spend some money on the season pass, of course, you will be able to get some extra stuff when you complete the season. And also, I forgot to mention is that when you reach level 100, you receive a 25% tank XP bonus on every multiplayer battle for the rest of the season. So once you reach level 100, you get a 25% bonus XP every single game. So it's kind of like having a premium tank, but without having to have the premium time, if that makes sense in terms of the amount of tank XP you get. A slightly less of a bonus, but you know, it's definitely one to be able to pick up if you do not have premium time, that's for sure. And then, once you get an additional 18 levels, which is 90 points, you'll be able to pick up a 25% Commander XP bonus. It used to actually previously, I think, be like 2 times XP or whatever once you reach the season pass level 100, but unfortunately they've reduced it now to just 25% extra. But now I guess that's more balanced, because having 2 times XP for the rest of the season is quite OP, especially if you can complete it in a couple of weeks, which some people that are tryhards like me will probably do when you've got no life. But yeah, moving on. Completing 24 additional levels, earning 120 additional points after level 100 will also grant you a 25% silver bonus on every multiplayer battle for the rest of the season. So for those of you that, you know, you get to level 100, you want a bit more of an extra challenge, these are kind of the benefits for doing that and grinding up some of the extra levels that you can do within World of Tanks console. Now, in terms of the extra stuff that you can get if you purchase the standard season pass. So this isn't the ultimate one. You can get quite a lot of new stuff within the game, and that is in the form of some season exclusive emblems, which are as seen on the screen right now. We also have the Duke 2D Premium Commander, which is I guess it's nice if you haven't already got a Premium Commander, which grants you an additional 15% Commander XP. Always really good for training up some crews. But then we have at level 75 the Duke 3D Hero Commander, which will give you 3 open skill slots, so you don't have to actually grind out the XP in order to get the skills. So you'll be able to put in 3 skills. Usually, if it was down to me and I was given a commander with 3 slots, I would put in 6 Sense, then I'd put in Born Leader, and then I'd probably put in something like the DPM perk or the Accuracy perk, depending on what tank I was putting it in. Of course, if it's a heavy tank, probably the Accuracy. If it's a medium tank, probably the DPM, and similarly with the light tank, probably the DPM one. But yeah, interesting. For those of you who don't already have some decent commanders, this one will be unlocked at level 75. Now, of course, level 100, the G.I. Joe Mobat Escalation Era Western Alliance Heavy Tank. A big mouthful right there. But this tank is very, very interesting. It's like a M1 Abrams. It's like the heavy tank of the American line at the Escalation Era. Because, of course, you have the M60s in that era rather than any real traditional heavy tanks. I guess this will actually play a little bit more like that when you're coming up against the T72 AV and stuff like that within the game. Now, of course, paying 2,000 gold for one of these, that is fantastic. Let me not beat around the bush. If you can actually get to level 100, then 2,000 gold is an absolute steal. Remember, during the season pass, what tends to happen is they give you gold rewards as well. So throughout the season pass levels, you can pick up a lot of gold. In fact, a lot of the time you actually pick up more gold than the season if you manage to get to level 100 or the last final reward of gold. That will grant you probably, well, every season I tend to make about 4,000 gold on top of the original 2,000 gold that I get from the season. You get that from key cards. You have the possibility of getting tanks within key cards as well, so it's always really, really beneficial. If you do have a little bit of extra money or you want to already spend some of the gold that's on your account, this is a perfect way to spend it and definitely something I would recommend. We get onto a little bit more of a kind of, I don't know whether you want to spend your money on this one, but we have the Ultimate Pass. This basically comes with some extra stuff. So within the Ultimate Pass, you get 25 levels already completed, so that's a flat-out massive kind of progress advancement for you, so you don't have to grind out the first 25 levels within the game. This will reward you also with a Cobra Commander 2D Premium Commander, blah blah blah, which is granted immediately on purchase, along with the 3D Hero Commander, the Cobra Commander, which will grant you a 30% bonus XP rate to Commander XP. And you'll get that immediately. And then finally, you can get the Cobra Hiss Escalation Era Independence Light Tank, which will be granted immediately on purchase. So when you get the Ultimate Season Pass, which does cost you a whopping 14,250 gold, which is about £40 or something in Great British pounds, that is, which is probably what, like $50, something like that, for just one tank and a couple of premium commanders. Up to you whether you want to spend that much money on just this Escalation Era Independence Light Tank. Remember also, if you don't play the Cold War mode, then purchasing the Ultimate Season Pass is probably something that you don't really want to do. And considering I've not actually got the chance to try this tank out myself, I couldn't suggest whether the tank is good enough to warrant the price tag that they are trying to charge. So it could be a terrible tank, mind you. So if you are spending that money, make sure if there is a review somewhere on YouTube that you make sure to have a look at that before you purchase this tank, as well as look at the statistics in the game and decide for yourself whether you think it's actually worth it. So that's my kind of 2 cents on the matter. 14,250 gold for the Ultimate Season Pass. It's up to you whether you spend your money. But in terms of whether I would want to spend that much money just for these extra rewards, not particularly. Anyway, moving on. World of Tanks Modern Armour G.I. Joe season level skips. Of course, you can pay extra money to skip levels. This is something I would never ever recommend. It's so expensive to skip one level, 250 gold. It's only ever actually worth it if you were so close to completing the season pass before it ends and you were not going to be able to actually complete it, and you could pay maybe 1,000 gold, which is 4 levels, to be able to get that tier 100 level reward, if that makes sense. So, and you weren't going to be able to get it before unless you spent money, if that makes sense. So just think about that. If you're trying to skip through the whole season pass, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot, and I wouldn't really recommend it for anyone thinking about it. But of course, it's your own money. Do as you wish. Now, moving on, complete season rewards charts. Of course, as we mentioned, you can get silver. You've got loads and loads of silver, so it's almost worth it just for the silver, the 2,000 gold, as well as the fact that you actually earn gold back. And it does usually, I'm not saying that it will 100% because I haven't calculated it, but it will usually give you more gold from the season pass back to yourself than it will if you actually just didn't pay for the season pass itself and reach level 100, so you actually earn gold in general. Now, remember, you do get the confidential keycards and the top secret keycards, which will give you gold in each one as well, a set amount minimum, as well as the possibility of getting a premium tank. So it's even more worth it, in my opinion, that you do get the standard season pass for 2,000 gold. Of course, the ultimate one will give you all of the rewards, as will the standard one, but of course it gives you those extra tanks that we've just mentioned. Now, there is an additional content with this one, so throughout the season, don't forget to look for new challenges every week. Completing challenges is the best way to gain points, conquer the levels, and earn as many rewards as possible. And remember, with the season pass or ultimate pass, you'll have access to even more weekly challenges. So what that means is, instead of getting, I think it's like 3 or 4 challenges per week that you can complete, when you purchase the standard season pass or the ultimate one, you will then get access to like 4 or 5 more weekly challenges, which get you more points faster, which get you to the higher reward. So it's even more worth it actually purchasing the season pass. And of course, if you do that from the beginning, you can get an advantage for the late game, and therefore you'll get the XP bonuses at the end of the season, stuff like that. So if you are going to purchase the season pass, do it straight away. Don't wait till you're halfway through the season pass, because by that time, if you just paid for it in the first place, you would have already progressed even further with the season. To get to level 50, you might actually have been at level 75. So don't wait until you get to tier 100 to purchase the season pass. Purchase it straight away, and then it will get you there faster, if that makes sense. So there's something to note down. As far as it, that is literally everything regarding the season pass and what you actually receive from it. Is it worth it? 100% for the standard one. Is it worth it for the ultimate one? Well, if you don't play Cold War, absolutely not. And if you are wanting to play Cold War and you were going to purchase a premium tank and the season pass to begin with, then yeah, maybe it is worth it for you. But for me, someone who doesn't play Cold War too much, then not so much. Other than that, right, what else do you get within the season? So that was quite a lot of news there. Of course, we mentioned the Mobat tank and the Hiss, which are both Cold War premium tanks that we've focused on in a couple of videos now. But yeah, these are 2 tanks that you get from the season pass, that one being the standard and the ultimate there. Yeah, very, very interesting in terms of what you think about that. Of course, you guys know my opinion by now. If you don't, then you can check out some of the other videos on the channel on these that I did yesterday and in the past. I think they have like the thumbnail with the 2 tanks on it. But yeah, moving on. M24E2 Super Chaffee. So this is basically a new tank, although it is somewhat like the T-37, the Tier 6 American light tank within the game. The Super Chaffee came out on PC as a reward for people who played the game for a certain amount of years within the game. I think it was like if you've played something like 5 years, if your account is 5 years old, you'll get a reward of a premium tank. Of course, World of Tanks console never actually do that except from give you like a week of premium, which you tend to not realise until it's too late, and then yeah, not so fun. But anyway, moving on from kind of that little jab there, We do get the Super Chaffee as an actual premium tank that you have to purchase with gold. This one comes with a skin, so you'll be able to actually get a specific skin for the tank, which obviously you can see right here. It's like this Independence Day and stuff that's coming up. It's that kind of skin. The Super Chaffee plays up to tier 8, so it's not preferential. You'll get 30% extra XP and also 30% extra silver. It's not got the most amount of hit points within the game. 660 is okay, but it's still more than the AMX Chaffee at tier 7. Yeah, we did a video on that as well. But yeah, much faster, 67 kilometers an hour. You've got decent hull traverse and turret traverse. Really, really good tank. And if I'm going to be super honest, this one will be actually quite a good one if you want to purchase it. Yeah, in terms of the price point, however, if you want to purchase it straight away, as with Wargaming's typical monetization, it will be 7,000 gold just for the tank. It then comes with this hero skin, which of course, depending on whether you actually like the skin or whether you just want the standard version of the tank without it, it's just like a standard American kind of colour without the skin on it. Then yeah, it will basically cost you 7,000. It comes with premium account time, so I guess if you did actually want to purchase 30 days of premium and you wanted the Super Chaffee, then yes, it would be an okay deal. But do you really need the 30 days of premium, especially when you can purchase a whole year for something like £30? When it comes to Black Friday, it's usually 50% off. So that's when I would recommend purchasing premium account time if you're going to spend money on premium account time, because paying for 30-day installments is something I've never found worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, moving on. Super Chaffee. If you want it, 7,000 gold to begin with. And then when 2 weeks or a week later, on July 13th, you'll be able to pick up the Super Chaffee with just the skin instead of the 30 days of premium. That will take 1,350 gold off of the price of it, so it's down to 5,650. Depends if you like the skin or if you just want to purchase it straight away, it's up to you. And then, of course, the final bundle or final package being 3,275, and you just get the Super Chaffee light tank. That's it, without the skin, for 3,275. A much nicer price tag, in my opinion. So if you want to purchase it, that's the one I would go for. But of course, if you do like the cosmetic aspect of the independent skin or the Super Chaffee hero skin, which you can see on screen right here, then yeah, pay the 5,000 for it. And if you do want the 30 days of premium, I guess you could go for the 7,000. But at the end of the day, once again, it's down to you. Now, moving on from that, we've got a T29 skin earn operation. So, earn operations, these tend to come out on World of Tanks quite often. They basically feature this kind of, you can get a new skin or you can get a premium tank if you grind out a certain amount of points within a season or within the amount of time that is dedicated for this. Of course, this is over the course of a weekend, so you've got from July 2nd until July 6th, so you've got about 4 days there in order to pick up the skin. What you basically have to do is go through stages of completing the T29 fireworks skin. In order to get points for it, basically all you have to do is come within the top 7 XP earners on your team. So at the end of the battle, if you're in the top 7 on the scoreboard on your team, you'll get a point. Now, if you get within the top 4, you'll get 2 points. If you get within the top, or if you are the top XP earner, you'll get 3 points. So depending on how well you do, will grant you more points. And of course, if you just come within the top like 5 to 7, then you'll come with 1 point. Now, in order to complete the whole thing, you'll need a whopping 50 points in total to be able to get the T29 skin. So if an average player may take you about 60 games, I guess, or maybe 50 games, I'd say, because sometimes you'll come within the top 4, whatever. If you're more experienced, you know the game a little bit more, you might come consistently within the top 4 or something like that. So of course, it might take you a little bit less time, but there you go. That's the skin. If you want to be able to pick up a skin, the 4th of July hero skin for the T29, that will be 50 points, and you can earn that over the course of these 4 days. Of course, you get some extra rewards being some premium consumables for completing the previous stages, so they're always nice additions on top of whatever you grind out on this mode. Now, in order to actually complete the skin, you can basically you can get some extra points, right? So if you want to complete it faster, you can play in any of these tanks currently to get a daily bonus. So if you have the T29 heavy tank, the Freedom, the Vengeance T25, the Minuteman, the Patriot. If you have any of these, if you play in them and you come either between 5th to 7th, 2nd to 4th, or the top XP earner, you'll get different points added on to the standard amount of points that you'll get. So you can get this twice per day. So if you want to play 2 games in any of these tanks right here, you can get some extra point bonuses on top of the point bonuses that you get for just coming in the top XP earner on your team with this tank. So yeah, this is the skin. Hopefully you find it interesting and that you actually want to pick it up. I think I might actually go for it. Looks interesting. It's a free thing to grind out whilst I'm kind of going through the challenges and stuff like that. And maybe I'll do a video on the T29 since it is a really, really nice heavy tank at tier 7. So yeah, maybe I'll do that this week. Other than that, in other news, we have an on-track event to the USA. So on-track event to the USA, what happens with something like this? Of course, it gives you some silver discounts and XP discounts or bonuses that you can use for the whole week. So this runs from, of course, today as of the update release until the 6th of July. Now, 50% silver discount between tiers 3 and tier 6, then you get a 30% discount between tiers 7 and tier 10. So that is across all of the American tanks on the tech tree. So if you look at any tank in the American line that you want to play, it will be 50% silver discount between 3 and 6 and 30% between tiers 7 and 10. So if you want to play any of your American tanks or you want to purchase one of them previously that you owned, then definitely do that now since it is on discount for the whole tech tree. Then US silver bonus earn challenges. Of course you'll earn extra silver now if you play in an American tank, or if you destroy one American tank in any number of battles, you can get 25% silver bonus, which is an extra addition to the on-track events. It's like a nationwide on-track event, basically. So for those of you that know, when you have a nation or an on-track event for like the AMX50B, it's just that one line that gets the bonuses. Instead, this is a nationwide one. So yeah, really, really decent from Wargaming. Thumbs up for that. Definitely like the bonuses and the silver discounts that you get within it. Now, moving on, we have another operation in which you can get a Canada Day emblem. This runs from the 1st of July to the 2nd of July. You have 1 day, and all you can basically do is get some emblems for it. All you have to do is win and survive a battle, and then that's available 3 times per account. So if you manage to do that 3 times, you'll have maxed out, and then you'll get all of these emblems 3 times over that you can put on your tank. Moving on, new 3D Commander War Daddy, of course. A commander for 5,200 gold. It comes with the Sherman Fury medium tank, which is a decent tank, I guess, if you're interested in your Sherman tanks. Comes with a 3D premium commander, the War Daddy 2D commander, and a load of premium consumables and an inscription, which of course will be added in to the price of the gold for the whole tank package. And therefore, if you realistically only wanted these, the 20% savings become nullified because all of these probably cost you the same amount of savings that you'll make from the package or bundle. So be aware of that if you're going to purchase it. If you think it's a 20% saving, it probably isn't because of all of this extra stuff that you probably didn't need or that you just realistically didn't want. So yeah, just think about that. Decent price, I guess, if you're interested in a premium commander and a tank and another commander as well. But yeah, up to you what you want to do. And then, of course, massive news. This is quite a long one, or at least it will be, is you can get key cards. They've basically been refreshed. So the tanks that were within the key cards have now been removed and they've replaced them with other premium tanks within them. So instead of the previous set of rotation of premium tanks within the key cards, now if you open one, you have a different chance or the same chance of getting a premium tank, but they're the different premium tanks that you can actually get within them. Of course, if you want to have a look at them, I won't go through them in this video, otherwise it will literally be like an hour long. But you can check that out on the Wargaming website. It is a keycard kind of article, and you can see all of them that you have a look at. But some of them that Wargaming have notified everyone of are the Inferno Chimera, the Falcon T29 or T92 light tank, and the VK16801P heavy tank. So yeah, if you want to have a look at those, then you can do that on the Wargaming website, and I should leave that in the description of the video down below. As far as other news and related to keycards, you have the long haul operation, which of course is as it always is, and that is if you place among the top 7 XP earners on your team in 75 multiplayer battles, you will earn a random keycard drop that is available every single week. So every week it resets. If you get to 74 battles within that week, it then goes on to the next day, which is this following week. It will then reset back to 1. So make sure if you were super close that you get on, finish those 75 battles, and then you don't have to worry about it. It will give you a random keycard, although when I say random, you've got a much higher chance of getting the confidential one being the worst keycard out of the lot. Then you get an increase or a slightly decreased chance of getting a classified one, and then a further decreased chance of getting the top secret one. So primarily you'll be receiving a confidential one, which guarantees you like, I think it's 150 gold minimum. Then it's like 250 gold, and then it's like 500 gold if you get a top secret one. Of course, don't think that you're going to have grind this out and earn loads of gold, because it is RNG dependent whether you get a good keycard and then whether or not you get a good tank out of the keycard. So take that into account if you are thinking about grinding out 75 multiplayer battles when you wouldn't have already within the game. Now, coming on to the kind of latter half of the video, hopefully, is that you'll be able to get some premium tanks for free XP. Of course, they've updated the list and they are on screen right now. We won't go through all of them, but basically some free XP prices are on screen right now for some premium tanks that you can purchase if you've saved up enough. They are on screen right now. Now, moving on. Celebrating Independence Day, there are some basically big sales, I would say, on some premium tanks within the game that are American. So you'll have 50% off camouflage, inscriptions and emblems for this weekend, which is the 2nd to the 6th of July, and then you'll have 30% off the American premium tanks that are below. So these are all of the American premium tanks on sale right now that you can have a look at. The key ones in there being the T54E2, really good tank right there. The TL1 LPC is a decent autoloader as well. It's like a 2-shot pump kind of gun, and then you can reload for like 10 or 11 seconds or something like that, and then it's very, very fast, like intricate reload between the 2 shells, so you can put one out then another straight away almost. Minuteman T29, another broken American premium tank within the game that kind of came out during that mercenary stage when they just slapped spaced armor over every single tank in the game and then call it apparently like fine. Then we have the HMH Chrysler K, which is a decent one. As far as other ones, AE Phase 1's a decent one, but other than that, there's not particularly anything that takes my fancy out of those, but of course it's up to you whether you want them. As far as bundles, there's a few that I would go for. In terms of the first one, All American Heroes, I'd avoid this one. The only 2 tanks that are particularly amazing are the Minuteman and the Patriot. They're both pretty decent. Freedom is a Super Pershing, which is awful in today's meta unless they buff it, and then the Vengeance T25 is a pretty meh medium tank at tier 8. And then of course the American Flankers. This one's a little bit better. You get the T95E2, the Deathstalker M46 pattern, and the T23E3, which is a fast-firing medium tank. Kind of underpowered, I would say, or at least underappreciated. This tank can be really good in the right kind of hands. The M46 pattern's alright, and this one is okay. 9,800 gold for 2 tier 8 premiums, and tier 7 isn't bad. Then we have American Destroyers. This one is pretty decent, considering you'll pick up 2 tier 7s and a tier 6 for only 6,750. considering one of those is the Hellcat 105 broken, yeah, the Hellcat 105 is probably worth that just for your enjoyment and fun of paying 6,750 gold. This thing is absolutely devastating. Really, really fun tank to play. M56 Scorpion is kind of fun, but it's no overpowered tank. And then the T28 concept is it's kind of the runt of the litter within these bundle right here. So yeah, up to you whether you spend that. I think it's not a bad price considering you get these two tanks, which are fun to play. Then, American heavyweights. We've got 3 tier 8 heavy tanks within the game. All of them are actually fairly decent. The T26E5 is a decent one. The Chrysler K is okay. On console at least. On PC it's much better. And then on the heavy tank, the M6A2E1, otherwise known the Mutant, is also okay. Nothing too fantastic. It's a really boxy, like bulbous tank that is kind of interesting. But yeah. Interesting to see if you guys think what you think about these bundles. 11,000 gold for 3 tier 8 heavy tanks that earn a decent amount of silver in the Mutant and the T26E5. Yeah, I think it's not a bad one. Then American Scouts, Rover 237, the Lycan T71 and the Falcon T92. Unfortunately, the highest tier one being probably the worst one out of the bunch. Rover is broken, Lycan is fantastic, Falcon T92, as I'm sure most of you already have the T92 from the Earn Operation Challenge a while back. Yeah, not particularly one of the best ones in the game. 50% savings, 8,500 gold. I don't think that's a particularly amazing deal, and if it just had these two in it for like 6,000 maybe, but considering that one isn't a particularly great tank within the game, then maybe not. Then finally, Pride Pack, All American. You get all of these emblems and inscriptions, 600 gold, 50% savings, up to you. I've never purchased inscriptions or emblems, so yeah, up to you whether you spend money on that. Then, late June bundles, between the 29th and the 6th of July. This is this week's bundles. So you can pick up the Kirovets one, the Defender or the Object 252U, and then the Talon T44122. 12,000 gold, probably not worth it, in my opinion, unless you really want the Defender and a decent heavy tank in the Kirovets. Talon is okay, nothing particularly broken about it, but yeah, you'll have decent games. 12,000 isn't too bad, up to you. Then the underrated 7s, we've got the VK4503, the Skullcap, and the SU12244, which I did a video on, in fact, really recently that you can have a look at on the channel to show you off what this tank can do. It's a DPM machine, a really, really good tank in the game, and certainly one I would recommend. 10,600 or 10,065 gold for all of them. I don't know. I don't think the VK4503 is that underrated. I think it's pretty mediocre anyway. The Skullcap is okay, but yeah, up to you whether you spend that much. I think it's not a bad shout if you just want to pick up this in the tech tree, to be honest. Then we have Evolve Legends. T3485M is amazing. Yeah, fantastic tier 6 medium tank. Really, really good. Sherman VC Firefly even. Yeah, not a bad one. Is it particularly amazing? No. 3,885 gold for both of them. I think is a good shout if you're interested in low tiers. And then finally, before and after, the Soviet Tier 6 Object 244 heavy tank and the IS-2M, which are both really, really nice tanks. But for 6,200, I think I'd rather just save up some more gold and get maybe some Tier 8s later on down the line. Now, in terms of discounted premium tanks, of course, all of them that were in those bundles are discounted at a 15% discount for the ones that were actually on this weekly sale, not the American ones. So if you see any of them that you fancy in particular, the SU12244 that I mentioned, maybe pick it up, but it is up to you. It is only a 15% savings though, so yeah, up to you what you do with your money. Then, weekly deals. 50% off the Vazilla KV4K, the Kreslovsky, and the Javelin Kruppstader Waffenträger. Avoid both of these. They aren't particularly great. Kruppstader Waffenträger, very, very underpowered. Yeah, not one I'd particularly want. If you're interested in your Borsigs and that kind of playstyle, then maybe 3,000 gold is worth it for you. But yeah, not in my personal opinion. I wouldn't go with it. And then the personal offers for this week. The Iron Rain Rheinmetall Borsig, which is a really, really nice premium tank destroyer, and certainly if you like the Borsig, that's the one I'd go for over the Kruppstader Waffenträger. Then it's the Type 59, which these are all 50% discount, by the way. Type 59, would avoid it at all costs. The Type 59-2 is just infinitely better. It's just a way better version, power crept version of the Type 59. Don't buy the Type 59 if you already have the Type 59-2. There's a reason why it's the second variation of the Type 59, that's for sure. And then the LT432, my favourite ramming light tank in the game. Really, really fun to play with, especially with the new upgraded engines and stuff that you can put on your tanks. And one maybe you might want to purchase. Up to you though, 50% discount on all of these, decent prices on the personal offers, and yeah, up to you whether you spend your money on those. As far as anything else that is on World of Tanks, I think that is pretty much it. Of course, let me know your thoughts and what you actually think of this week's kind of bundles and this week's decision making from Wargaming as far as the updates and the patch notes and all of that various different information that we got given as part of the G.I. Joe season on World of Tanks. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting kind of time for World of Tanks console, at least, because of course we have all of the various different changes being coming into the game, of course Cold War mode and all of that various different stuff that you can have a look at. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I hope to see those later on. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, thank you very much to the people that are subscribed to the channel, and of course anyone that is a member of the channel, which is on screen right now. Thank you all for your support. Of course, Sergio, New Joe, Arcady, Kennetank, Lucas, thank you all for being a member of the channel and supporting the channel for me to be able to make this content for you guys. Really do appreciate it, and thank you to anyone else that decides to join the channel in between me making this and it being released, if anyone decides to support it further. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.